Okay, in this video, we are going to be dealing with a type of sentence called elaboration sentences. In elaboration sentences, you will often see here the semicolon. You will sometimes see a dash, and you'll sometimes see a colon. And let's get that right here in front of us. Boom. You'll see these three. I drew them roughly up here. And it's important because these types of text completions are very common on the GRE, so it's important to know that more or less these three are used interchangeably. What are they elaborating? What's going on? Well, David's reputation as a blank was well deserved. Tell us more, elaborate. So we get our semicolon. We have a word like indeed. Indeed is, again, a word that shows us we're going in the same direction. There's no shift, so it's simply elaborating. So note indeed, and then elaborating how? Well, the sentence says, even after coming into $1 million inheritance, he, stepping David, still lived in a poorly furnished attic. So what kind of word do we need to come up with? Well, this person had all this money, $1 million inheritance, and they still live very poorly. So again, we want to come up with our own word and match, and maybe right off the bat, you know that the word for someone who has a lot of money but doesn't spend even a single penny is a miser. You may, though, have been trapped by the word pauper. A pauper is simply a poor person. David, however, lives like a poor person but is actually rich. So we get rid of that. Clearly not optimistic. Opportunistic, he's not that either. That means I'm trying to always seize the opportunity. And then finally we have this fun word here, curmudgeon. We don't, of course, need to pick it because curmudgeon, or because we have our answer C, miser, but curmudgeon means somebody who is grumpy. So again, we can get rid of it. But again, we're following the basic steps. Again, though, you want to identify the sentence. Notice, is it shift or no shift? Now, we can have an elaboration sentence, however, that does shift. However, with a word like indeed, it doesn't shift. So that's also important to note. But the idea here is if you want to know what's the answer to the blank, you look after the semicolon or the colon or the hyphen, and there you will find the elaboration. So let's have a look. There's another one with a hyphen. Carla approached work in a blank manner. How does she approach it? Well, let's read after the hyphen. She would often stare vacantly into nothingness while performing a given task, regarding it as nothing more than a chore. Okay, Well, she obviously doesn't like work, so again, we first looked at the second part of the sentence and thought, how is it defining this? And she doesn't like her work, so what sort of manner? How does she approach work? Well, we come up here with our own word, and it's kind of in a very blah manner or routine. Now, yes, blah is obviously slang, but that's fine. You're coming up with your own word, your own sense. It doesn't have to even really be a dictionary word. If you think, wow, she must have a very blah approach to work or very routine, as though she would rather be doing anything else. So now we can go through the answer choices. And again, here's steadfast, which means loyal. That doesn't mean blah. If you're a steadfast worker, you stick to the task. Roundabout, you're just not direct. Perfunctory, word probably don't know. Unseemly, this is a popular GRE word. It means something that is not appropriate. So it has a very negative connotation as well. So it's almost immoral, it's unseemly, it's improper, but she's simply really out to lunch when it comes to work. Without literally being out to lunch, she's simply treating work in a very blah manner. Then there's brusque. Brusque means rude. So that doesn't work. And you can see the word that we don't know in this case is the answer, which is perfunctory. And perfunctory, when you do something in a perfunctory manner, you go through the motions. You don't really put any thought or heart into it. You simply do it in a very routine fashion. So again, though, the key here was noticing the hyphen, noticing that we're dealing with an elaboration sentence. In this case, there's no shift. We're simply defining the word perfunctory using this example of this woman here at work.